Hi, this is Zak Mir with the US Chartbreakers here at Zak's Traders Cafe for Thursday, the 17th of April. Starting off with the S&P, which I suppose has done what it should have done in terms of the technicals, i.e. fail at that resistance line, then the old support line there around 54.30, and then find support around 52.20, which was the old May-August support zone for this market. So hitting that almost exactly. RSI back below neutral 50, so we still have the risk of a further leg down towards the August low itself, around 51.30, and maybe even a full retest of the support below 4900. But at the moment, probably hoping and looking for the low of yesterday at 52.20 to be the low of the move, and then we try and bounce again up to 5400 plus. Moving on to the Nasdaq, and here the situation uh, has been in the recent past rather weaker than that of the S&P, although I suppose you could argue that the rally towards 19,000 was a better performance, but we gapped down yesterday. We have the risk of an equivalent test of where the S&P tested, so back down to 17,500, the August support, and really looking for a clearance of that 19,000 area in a proper way to end the bear run that we've had from 22,000. Moving on to the stocks, and starting off with the Arena Group, and here you can see that we've had a massive breakout, beautiful follow through after the unfilled gap to the upside, really partially filled the gap, and it's quite saucer shaped in terms of the turnaround, hence the gap higher. At least we're looking at them in the near term for $3.20, which is the top of that rising trend channel from back in May, and ideally we stay above yesterday's opening price towards $2.25. Maybe that would be a potential entry point for people who missed the boat. Moving along to another new name, Aleanna, and here, beautiful and all rather obvious W-shaped turnaround there. We managed to break the neckline there of the W, $13.20 above that. We're looking for the top of that rising trend channel from the end of last year, as high as $24.40 by the end of next month. Next situation is coming up, and here, by typing the right letters, DLH Holdings, here you can see that we've got potential of a rebound, bit of bullish divergence there in the RSI window, so lower lows for April, but higher RSI trace. So looking for the shares to at least get back to the old late February support area and March support area as well, through the $4.50 area, and to do that over the next 2 to 4 weeks. Next stock is a bit of a lap of honor, given that I just covered the stock earlier in the week. Here, suggesting this looked very good, and obviously the share's up 48% since they were covered at this time yesterday. Still looking for the $4 area, hopefully by the end of this month, while we remain above the midpoint of yesterday's range around the $2.80 level. Hertz is also a winner from the recent past, coming through there, just shy of the rising trend channel top that we drew for it, around $5.75. The high, well, in fact, we hit the $5.77 level, so we hit that line above 577 on an end of day close basis. We're looking for a fresh leg to the upside, the upper parallel of that rising trend channel base from the end of last summer, as high as $7.60 by the end of the next month. But like to see the shares at least remain above the old December resistance, $5.35. Another stock which is new to us is coming up here, and it is ICAD. Here you can see that gapped up spectacularly, so obviously most people missed the boat there, but we are in a triangle, the top of the triangle there, $4, so it may be worth at least noting that potential upside while we remain above yesterday's support at $2.90 on an end-of-day close basis. Another new name, and it is Niocorp, and here another gap higher, a massive gap higher, but a massive rising trend channel there from back in the summer of last year, in fact the spring of last year, this time last year. That's heading for $5.30, but looking for that by the end of next month, while we remain above the old resistance area, say call it 350, Obviously, at the moment, we're indicated to be a bit lower than that. So let's see if we can get back above that 350 area. I mentioned a stock yesterday, just caught the imagination, which is Splash Beverage. And here, U-shaped turnaround for the share. So that looks very strong. Unfilled gap to the upside off the low. Looking for at least the 50-day line there, $5.40 by the end of this month. And even better would be up towards $8. 80 over the next 2 to 4 weeks. But the initial target there should be the 50-day moving average. On to another stock with legs at the moment, which is coming up and comes in the form of Seagate. Here you can see that we've got this consolidation here. Looking for an end of day close back through 75.50 to give us a proper move up to filling in the gap there up to the $84 area. Hopefully that would happen by the end of this month. On to the last two. The first one is in the form of Zio, and here falling trend channel, top of the channel there at $3.20, and we're looking for that while there's no end of day close back below the 50-day moving average, $1.82. Lots of new names today. I'm finishing off with one, which is Zhengye, and here, bear trap rebound for the shares, back above resistance on the way down around $7. The longer we can stay above that, the greater the chance of a move towards $11 by the end of next month, which is the top of that rising trend channel from the turn of the year. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow or over the weekend.